Just inside the national park boundary, where the Hawai'i Belt Road enters Hawaii Volcanoes National Park from the west, is a small parking strip that many visitors, in a hurry to visit more well-known attractions, might overlook. You should slow down and pay closer attention, because this small parking lot is the gateway to a host of wonders within the Ka'u Desert section of Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. From about 4,200 feet elevation down to sea level, the Ka'u Desert Trail wanders across this high, barren expanse of basalt and sand dunes formed of volcanic ash. Other trails intersect the Ka'u Desert Trail and travel from the Hawai'i Belt Road east to Kilauea Crater, as well as west to the intersection with the Ka'aha Trail, then down Hilina Pali to the coast. Seldom in a national park is such unrelenting, inhospitable, but intensely spectacular land made so accessible by trail. There is no water, there is no shade, there is no protection from the elements. The land and climate are as unforgiving as they are alluring. For details about hiking or backpacking in this spectacular, empty portion of the park, contact the Backcountry Office at the Kilauea Visitor Center, 808-985-6000. Do not venture from your car here without carrying water. There is something more alluring about this spot that inspires people's imagination and draws them to visit this lonely place. Less than a mile, scarcely a 20-minute walk from the parking lot, are the remains of footprints made by a party of doomed warriors more than 200 years ago. Kilauea's eruptions are generally characterized by the leisurely, almost peaceful outpouring of lava and occasionally more than mild earthquakes. However, it is not unknown for Tutupele to erupt in a blast of fury, spreading ash and tephra for hundreds of miles. As recently as 1790 and again in 1924, such violent steam-driven eruptions have occurred. These eruptions result from groundwater percolating down through the earth to near the volcano's magma chamber. The water becomes superheated, and surging along existing structural weaknesses makes new conduits to the surface, finally erupting in a roiling mass of superheated steam, ash, tephra, and rocks. This type of eruption and the ash they produce are the keys to the mystery and eeriness of this site. The warrior footprints preserved here under a modern ramada are believed to have been formed in 1790. At this time, Kamehameha the Great was solidifying his military and political hold on the island of Hawaii, though not all of his foes had been vanquished. His cousin Keoa had organized an army, and while Kamehameha was occupied elsewhere, he seized parts of the Ka'u and Puna districts. Keoa sent an army overland to directly challenge Kamehameha. However, camping overnight at the volcano, they were caught by the massive, explosive eruption. Fearing he had angered Pele, he organized his army into 3 columns for a hasty retreat from the falling ash. The first column seems to have emerged unscathed, but the second column went missing. When these warriors and their families were encountered by the third column, they were found dead on the ground, in close groups, still clutching each other, overcome by the toxic volcanic fumes. It is said that as many as 400 warriors, women, and children died here. The footprints seen along the Ka'u Desert Trail are from these doomed warriors and their families, made and preserved in the shifting ash dunes of the Ka'u Desert landscape. The people of Hawaii accepted Pele's judgment against the interloping Keoa, and, although he continued to fight, he never came close to turning the tide of battle against his cousin, Kamehameha the Great. As a peace offering to his cousin, Kamehameha invited Keoa to the ceremony sanctifying the newly erected Pu'ukohala Heiau. However, when Keoa's canoe approached the temple grounds, he was seized and immediately sacrificed to the war god Kuka Ilimoku, thus becoming the first human sacrifice at the new Luakini heiau, and ending a vexing political problem for Kamehameha once and for all.